Hi, I'm Kristen Maldonado from Pop Culture Planet. I gotta say, I am like just such a huge fan of you guys, so I'm so honored to be here speaking with you today.
Oh, Kristen, that's so nice to hear. Thank you for saying that.
Of course. Now, I mean, this has been a show that I've been anticipating, I feel like, for the last like 3 or 4 years already. And I know you guys have been working really hard on it. And I was curious because the themes I feel like have become even more relevant in the last year when it comes to technology and AI. Was that something that was surprising to you to see?
Well, yeah, when we thought of like, who's going to be an interesting tech billionaire we haven't seen before, we thought, oh, an AI designer is an arena I hadn't seen on screen before. And so we were curious to do that. And then we got to work with an early version of Chat GPT, and it was just really fun to play with it. And we thought, oh, an AI assistant would be just like a really fun thing to have. And last night we were screening the show for the first time on the big screen at the Whitney, and Ray turns on music for Darby and runs her a bath, and I was like, man, we're a year away from that actually being possible.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yes and no. But it was really interesting to be, yeah, working on a series that was dealing with so many of the themes that are coming up now, in terms of technology and the way we use it and what it means for our lives and our interpersonal relationships as well.
I feel it also is so relevant. I mean, we're just coming off of the strike, and AI in general was a very hot topic there. I don't know if you have any thoughts in terms of, what that kind of means for our future or for the show.
The way that certainly that Brit and Zal have handled it in the show is just sort of, yeah, it goes very hand in hand with what the discourse has been in the rest of the world at the moment, which is just like returning to, human relationships and not losing that or losing sight of what we care about or what we value in ourselves and how we communicate.
You guys have been working together your entire careers. What makes your partnership work?
I guess at this point we've been doing it for so long that we like really know each other and we really know, I think, the ways to invite each other to do our best work, how to like not shut ideas down early, but how to nurture things and let things grow. And I think just takes time and practice, maybe.
Yeah, when you're a kid, and you're building a fort with a friend, uh, a sofa fort, no one ever says, "Oh no, don't put the cushion that way, or don't put the sheet that way." Kids like play with a lot of the rules of improv, a lot of yes and. They are, constantly like building off of each other, not tearing each other down. But as we become adults, fear creeps in, and
An ego. Yeah.
yeah, and cautiousness. And so together we're more fort builders. We're, we're trying to find a way to not shut each other down early on, which I think is cool.
I love that. And did you guys have like a more memorable part of filming this show, whether it was a challenging moment or a more fun moment?
We were shooting at the height of the pandemic, and we were masked and everything was very hard. But by the time we got to the final part of shooting, which was in Utah, we didn't have to wear masks outside anymore, and we were only like a 25-person crew. And so Emma and Harris in the car, and meeting each other at the truck stop, like those days of shooting were so much fun. Britt would come home from directing, and she'd, have sand all over her face from the sandstorms, but she had a big smile on her face too. So it made me really happy to see everybody so happy.
I mean, we started the shoot in Iceland, which was absolutely incredible. Like being in that landscape was incredibly humbling and just breathtaking. My first day on this job was on a shooting on a frozen lake with Elise, and we got to set by snowmobile, which was wild. And we're in like sub-zero temperatures. Brit got hypothermia. It was like a baptism by fire. But basically that entire month in Iceland was shooting out in the elements every day. And it was like the most challenging but the most rewarding thing. Yeah, to be actually like making a TV series in that weather. It was wild.
What I love about your character is that you sort of get to play two versions of them in two different sort of timelines. How did you balance that and kind of keep certain things in one version of that character and certain things in the other version?
I really loved having the chance to play two versions of one person. I felt that they, certainly for me, really informed each other. And yeah, it was just the greatest sort of like acting or character exercise to playing older Darby, to know exactly, to be able to sense physically and vocally and in my body like the ways that I was playing her when she was younger in terms of what she was going through, and then vice versa, playing younger Darby, knowing what would come, who she would become, and then knowing where she started. I just thought it was really wonderful to have that chance to play those two quite different people. Actually, Brit and Zal are so clever in the fact that they've made a show that you could easily and can easily call a whodunit, because I suppose it is where that is the center pin of the series, but it's also a love story, and it's also a commentary on, you know, our relationships, as you say, who we can trust, but it's also a really wonderfully detailed and complex character study of this girl who's growing up in a very fast changing world. And I think that in itself is really interesting as well. So I think it's a whodunit, but they've created a main character who is incredibly complex and not at all one-dimensional, which is really fascinating to watch.
I gotta ask, you know, because I really truly feel like the OA was a masterpiece. And I wanted to know, like, what you guys think about the theories that you still see online from fans, and like if you still see a future where you might be able to complete that story in some way.
I think sometimes about seeds in the desert, you know, that are in the desert for sometimes, you know, decades, and then the conditions or the climate and circumstance changes, and all of a sudden that seed grows, you know. So I think you never know what will happen, but we love telling that story very much, and we love the OA fans very deeply. They're an incredible group of people, and the art that they've made and the rebellion that they've been a part of, you know, it's very heartening, and really honestly makes us excited to keep telling all stories to try to meet their expectations.
Well, I want to thank you guys so much for your time, and just for creating stories that just really make you think and are so outside of the box, because those are my favorite ones to follow, and you guys are just always doing such incredible things. So thank you.
Thank you so much for saying that, truly.
Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comments section, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/kmaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!